It's 3 on the 12th of November 2025. In the South China Sea, the USS Virginia's scopes bloom with sudden spikes, unknown tracks racing in from the Spratlys, while the water around her periscope ripples like glass. Alarms roll through steel passageways as sailors strap in and murmur checklists. Above, the destroyer USS Higgins snaps into Aegis combat mode, beams linking ship to ship, submarine to mast, every sensor fused. White lances flare on the horizon, Chinese anti-ship missiles already airborne, and the Combat Information Center washes red. Countermeasures, spit chaff, jammers howl, and the air tastes like ozone and sweat. Sonar calls bearing and speed. The fire control team answers with calm voices that shake only at the edges. This isn't a drill. It's the opening move of a knife-edge fight. And in the next 10 minutes, either an American crew writes the future of the Pacific, or a message home explains why they won't be coming back. The South China Sea isn't just water. It's a pressure line for the global economy. Tankers and box ships squeeze through narrow lanes that feed factories, hospitals, and store shelves from Singapore to Seattle. Tonight, the USS Virginia below and the USS Higgins above aren't simply hunting targets. They're guarding the rhythm of daily life back home. If they fail here, it won't just be bent metal and twisted railing. It will be insurance premiums spiking, cargo rerouted, prices nudging higher each week, and allies asking whether America can still keep its word at sea. Across the horizon, China's newest carrier, Fujian, moves with the weight of a national bet. Two Type 055 cruisers shadow her, phased array faces glinting, while Type 52D destroyers knit a shield of missiles and radar. J-16 wheel overhead in disciplined stacks, and shore batteries on Hainan watch like hawks for a mistake. Beijing frames this as defense of historic rights. Washington frames it as coercion that constricts a common waterway. Inside Virginia's control room, the air is cool but tight. Sailors run checklists by muscle memory. The captain's voice is low. Hold fire until the window opens, then hit hard and disappear. On Higgins, the combat team rides the edge between calm and overload as tracks multiply and data floods the Aegis net. One missed correlation can open a gap big enough for a warhead. Everyone understands the wager. Electronic warfare, missiles, and subs all colliding in minutes, with reputations decades in the making at stake. If you were there hearing the sea hum while a carrier group tests your nerve, whose idea of order do you back? Open lanes or ownership by force? Press 1 for freedom of the seas, or 9 if raw power should decide. 3:12 hours. The silence breaks. Deep beneath the waves, the USS Virginia detects new bursts from Fujian's escorts. The Chinese carrier group is changing formation. Moments later, 12 YJ-12 anti-ship missiles launch, streaking low at Mach 3. Red light fills the control room as targeting teams lock data. Above, the destroyer Higgins swings to port, Aegis assigning intercept windows. SM-6 missiles rip skyward, white trails carving through thick clouds. 2 kills confirmed, 1 splash, 1 still inbound. The second wave flies lower, faster. Virginia dives beneath the thermocline, a cold shield against sonar. Tube 1, LRASM fire. The missile bursts from the ocean, ignites, and races toward Fujian. On Higgins, a green return streaks toward the carrier. "That's ours," someone whispers. Jammers aboard Fujian flood the spectrum, but the LRASM adapts, shifting frequency and angle in milliseconds. Impact. A flash blinds every screen, followed by a rolling shockwave. When the feed clears, Fujian's deck burns, smoke twisting into the humid night. The crew starts to cheer until the captain cuts them off. They'll hit back. They do. Ghost signals flood Aegis links, creating phantom contacts. Cut uplink. Local net only. The Tau orders. Data stabilizes, revealing real threats. Another wave inbound. J-16 launch more YJ-12 from standoff range. SM-6 rise again, 2 intercepts, 1 leaker. Higgins yaws slightly, C-RAM fires a short burst, and the final missile disintegrates meters from the hull. Shrapnel rains harmlessly into the sea. Down deep, Virginia listens. A Renhai cruiser's sonar pings roll overhead, hunting the sub that drew first blood. Rigged for ultra-quiet, the captain says. Prepare torpedoes. Second, LRASM on standby. Intercepts confirm. Fires across Fujian's flight deck. Flight ops halted. Not a kill, but a deep wound. The escorts tighten formation, their radars spinning like nervous eyes. Then fresh arcs appear steeper, faster. Ballistic profile, the operator warns. SM-3 to battery, the captain replies. Launch tubes thump and bright streaks tear the sky. Icons vanish from the radar. Not all of them, but enough. For a breath, silence. Pumps hum. Metal ticks. Then the ocean exhales, and both sides brace for what's next. The fight has only begun. 3:37 hours. The ocean feels alive, tense, vibrating. Fujian still burns, but her escorts regroup fast. From Hainan, new signals bloom. DF-21D launch codes, ballistic arcs meant for carriers. The U.S. ships have minutes to react. On Higgins, sea spray coats the deck as crewmen reload interceptors by hand. The Aegis display flashes red 24 inbound tracks, some real, some ghosts from China's cyber attack. Filter by signature. No assumptions, the tactical officer snaps. Below, Virginia glides in silence. Sonar catches faint propeller tones, a Renhai cruiser closing. They're blind, but close, the captain murmurs. Then the sky breaks open. DF-21D descend like falling meteors. SM-3 interceptors launch in pairs, white trails spearing the clouds. One hit, another, a near miss. A warhead breaks apart overhead, fragments splashing within a mile of Higgins. The ship rolls, plates creaking, but holds. Everyone knows the cost math. The US fires million-dollar missiles to stop ones that cost a fraction. You can't reload at sea. Every intercept drains the edge. New wave low, fast, calls the operator. J-16 again. Higgins pivots, bow slicing water. Phalanx guns roar. Tracers drawing orange arcs. Two YJ-12 explode short. One skims through debris and detonates close enough to rock the hull. No breach, just shrapnel and smoke. Down deep, Virginia strikes back. Mark 227, two torpedoes, spread fire. The tubes hiss. Two heavyweight torpedoes surge forward, homing on the cruiser's prop noise. Seconds, stretch then impact. A dull boom rolls through the deep. Surface radar confirms. One Renhai-class crippled, radar dome gone, fires breaking out. Virginia turns away, slipping into silence. That evens it, the captain says quietly. On Higgins, cheers fade as fresh alerts pop. New missiles, faster and higher. Unknown launch point, says the radar tech. The captain's voice stays steady. Then we move faster. Engines roar. The destroyer accelerates, wake, foaming behind. Every console glows red. Every eye is fixed on the screen. The crew knows what this moment means: hold here or lose the Pacific. If you were on that deck, hearing the sky tear apart, would you stand your ground or turn for safety? Press 1 to hold the line, or 9 if survival comes first. 3:52 hours. The horizon still burns, but something feels wrong. The radar feed stabilizes, yet one contact refuses to fade, small, erratic, skimming the surface. Drone? Someone asks. The operator frowns. Too fast. Moments later, new returns flood every screen, dozens of low-altitude signatures from different directions. Not missiles, not aircraft, something new. From the coast, China has launched sea-skimming hypersonic drones, glide bodies riding compressed air just above the waves. They blend radar and acoustic stealth, switching flight patterns mid-course. The Aegis system can't lock long enough for a solid track. Higgins, multiple inbound, closing fast, range 25 miles. The captain grips the rail. They're adapting, he mutters. Electronic warfare teams jam the airwaves. It works briefly before the swarm splits apart, trading data through encrypted beams invisible to radar. It's coordinated chaos, unpredictable but intelligent. Below, Virginia listens. The sonar room glows dim blue. Dozens of faint traces weave through the thermocline, hunting by sound instead of radar. Flood tubes 3 and 4, spread pattern. 2 torpedoes fire, detonating seconds apart. The sea erupts in white plumes. Several contacts vanish, but not all. One drone dives beneath the surface and races straight for Higgins. Impact. The hull trembles. Lights flicker. Minor breach, port side. Contained, the engineer reports. Smoke curls from a vent. Alarms wail, then fade. No one speaks. Every face knows the truth. The enemy just rewrote the rules. Missiles and torpedoes are no longer enough. The next battle won't be about firepower, but about who learns faster. 4-5 hours. The sea is chaos. Smoke, fire, static. Higgins rolls in heavy swells, systems flickering between power and blackout. Below, Virginia moves through broken thermals, hunting by instinct. Contact, bearing 180. The sonar tech reports. Multiple prop signatures, heavy tonnage. The captain leans forward. That's Fujian. She's still alive. On the surface, flames crawl across the carrier's deck. Her escorts tighten formation. Shields up, radars spinning. Dozens of J-16 launch. Contrails slashing through the gray dawn. Missiles rise again. YJ-12, DF-21 fragments. Volleys from Renhai cruisers. Higgins, saturation threat. Aegis locks targets. SM-6 firing in rapid rhythm. Explosions flash overhead. 2 kills, 1 miss. A near hit rocks the destroyer. Fragments hammering the hull. Alarms scream. Smoke floods the bridge. Damage control forward section, the captain shouts. Keep us in the fight. Virginia seizes the opening. Tubes 2 and 5 fire. 2 torpedoes surge upward. Silver streaks vanishing into black. The first slams into a Type 055 cruiser's stern, tearing steel apart. The second detonates near Fujian's hull. The carrier shudders, flames leaping higher. But Higgins takes a glancing hit. A YJ-12 skims the aft deck, blasting antennas and paint into smoke. Crewmen drag the wounded below. Power flickers, yet the ship still moves, still answers. Inside Combat Information Center, orders cut through the haze. Prioritize the carrier. Ignore the rest. Operators track. Fire. Reload. Each breath syncs with the rhythm of survival. Above, an SM-6 finds its mark. The last incoming missile disappears in a fireball that paints the sky gold. Down deep, Virginia circles for one final strike. Tube 6, ready. Fire. The torpedo darts forward, chasing the wounded carrier's wake. Seconds later, a deep boom rolls through the ocean. Fujian tilts. Flames race across her deck as she begins to list. Massive hull breaking the surface in slow defeat. Escorts pull back, powerless to save her. On Higgins, silence settles. No cheers, just smoke, scars, and breathing. The crew watches as the burning giant sinks beneath the waves. The sun rises over the wreckage, red bleeding into gold. The battle is over. Not victory, just survival. 4:45 hours. The battle is over. Smoke drifts across the South China Sea as dawn spreads a thin orange light over shattered waves. Fujian is gone, a $9 billion symbol swallowed by the water it sought to control. Debris floats for miles, silent testimony to a war that lasted less than 2 hours. On Higgins, the deck smells of salt, fuel, and metal. Crewmen move with quiet precision, spraying foam over fires that refuse to die. The wounded rest in the mess hall, faces streaked with soot. The ship's hull is scarred, but afloat, and that's enough. Down below, Virginia runs silent. The crew barely speaks. They know they've done the impossible, crippled the most advanced carrier China has ever built and lived to tell the story. Yet no one feels victorious. The cost is written in exhaustion, in the trembling hands that still clutch railings. Radio silence breaks. The Pentagon's voice comes through calm, clipped, professional. Mission confirmed. Fujian neutralized. No cheers follow, just a long exhale. The captain glances at his crew and says quietly, "War's never about who fires first. It's about who endures last." Around the wreck zone, satellites track the aftermath. China's remaining escorts retreat toward Hainan. Their electronic warfare systems keep scanning, jamming, testing proof that the conflict has shifted beyond torpedoes and missiles. Now, it's about data, deception, and who controls the network when the next shot comes. As the sun climbs higher, the South China Sea looks calm again, hiding the violence beneath. But everyone aboard knows peace is fragile, a pause, not an ending. Somewhere beyond the horizon, new orders are already being written. War has entered a new phase, part ocean, part algorithm, all unforgiving. And as both sides prepare their next move, one question remains: who will adapt faster when the next dawn brings another fight? If you were standing on that deck at sunrise, watching smoke fade into silence, would you choose deterrence or escalation? Tap 1 for strength through defense, or 9 if you believe another strike is inevitable.